I'm bored. Let's watch Nerdrotic. All right, so about a week ago, I made a video about Nerdrotic's tweet where he was taking responsibility, at least in some way, for Starfleet Academy being canceled. And a lot of people were saying, oh, he's just joking, blah, blah, blah. It's not just a joke. When you spend a big chunk of your time trying to get a show removed from a platform because you think that it's too woke, and then it finally gets removed and you're like, we did it. Our work here is done. When you say something like that, it's not just a joke. It's just not. This video here, the title of this video, and I thought it was kind of interesting because it's got Robert Picardo's name in it, who plays the Doctor. Incredibly amazing individual, great actor, great person. It says, YouTubers blamed for Starfleet Academy downfall. Star Trek show also scrapped. How is it that you're like, you were blamed for it when you literally took responsibility for it? It's like yelling, hey, I did it. And then the guy over there is like, man, you did it. Well, how dare you blame me? You took responsibility for it. Let's see what they have to say.
We did it, boys. We did it. She's dead.
Congratulations.
See what I'm saying? We were blamed for it. You're taking responsibility for it, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Look at how big that fucking set is. You can play a football game in there. Wow. This is the bridge. This is supposed to be the bridge.
11 versus 11, 2 goalposts. Yeah.
I think they said this is the largest Star Trek set like ever that they've done.
Yeah.
This is the bridge. This is like the foyer area with all the water features and shit. It's like a mall.
Man, you didn't even know what the bridge was, Gary? You couldn't even tell this wasn't the bridge? Man, for somebody who says they know a lot about Star Trek, you should know what the bridge looks like.
The only case where size doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It looks stupid. It looks like all the other Jar Jar and Kurtzman Trek. It looks like a mall and a diner, and it doesn't look like Star Trek. It doesn't,
because it wasn't supposed to. This was a school. That was the difference. It was an academy that they could fly around in and land on Earth, and all of it was kind of connected together. It was a different type of ship. We'd never seen anything like this before. That was the purpose. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but the point was, it is different. That was the purpose. You can argue aesthetic, whether or not you like it, whether or not you think it's cool, all of that is fine. But to point out that it doesn't look like anything we've seen before is literally the intention behind it.
They pulled down all the classrooms that nobody did any lessons in.
Yeah.
We had several episodes where people were doing lessons. They had a whole debate episode. They had a whole episode where they were taking classes for debate. But let's continue with the lies and bullshit.
how much time did they spend
on those floors?
Oh yeah,
she did.
Everywhere.
How much time did they spend in class for real?
Less than 5 minutes.
So that's what you wanted? You wanted a series where they just sat in class and did lessons? That's the show you wanted? That's the pitch? Starfleet Academy, where it's just sitting in the classroom. I don't think that's the show you wanted. I know you're saying that here. I don't believe you. I don't think you actually wanted that show. I think that is you making up something to be upset about.
Yeah,
total time in the whole series.
Unless you count the theater class, that was a little longer.
That was, but
so they did have a episode where they were doing theater. They had an episode where they were doing combat training. They had an episode where they were doing debate. They had an episode on history. So they had 10 episodes. That's at least 4 of them where they were doing some sort of lesson-based episode. Wow, it's almost like you're just ignoring that.
The kids in Harry Potter spent more time in their class in the movies.
In the first episode,
in one movie.
Yeah.
The fucking...
You got him, Gary. You got him. Harry Potter had more classroom stuff in it. Therefore, equals better. That's the problem.
There that YouTubers got this show canceled. Well, I would absolutely...
It's right.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So Everybody out there who were, you were yelling at me about it, that they didn't take responsibility for it, they do. All of them do. All of them. Now, whether they actually did, like whether that was the metric that moved the needle for Paramount or not, I can't answer that question. But they seem happy to take responsibility for it because it gives them a little bit of power. It gives them a little woody. It makes them a little hard. It gives them a chubby to think that they might have had something to do with it. But the difference is they want to take credit for it when it's convenient for them. But when somebody associated with the show pushes back, then it's the victim card. How dare they? How dare they do that?
Never mind.
I would like to
being
take my
humble.
segment of
I did this. Az did this. Drinker did this. You're fucking welcome. You're welcome. Disprove. Hell yeah, we can't forget disprove.
Let's go.
It would be so nice to be able to like take credit for it, but
Sure.
Unfortunately, YouTubers are not the ones that wrote this pile of shit.
What?
Interesting. So now we have Ryan Kennel coming in with his big brain. He's got plenty of room. Plenty of room up there for a large brain. Telling you guys that, hey, by the way, all the stuff that we're fighting against over here, yeah, we don't really have any power. Yeah, it's not really, we don't do anything. We have no control over it. It literally is whether or not the product is good or bad. So all the time you spend over here with us fighting back against wokeness is wasted time. You will never get back. You will never get those moments back. All those times you missed with your family, all those times you missed going to the movies, hanging out with people, being social, touching grass, you'll never get it back. And guess what? It was completely wasted because we actually have nothing to do with any of this. We have no cultural impact at all. Zero. Nothing we do matters. Thank you for admitting that, Ryan.
YouTubers are not the ones that decided to put the first bit of promotional material out there, make it look like Star Trek 90210. YouTubers are not the ones.
Yeah, I mean that's because that's what the show was attempting to do. Like you're acting like that was the mistake. That was the intention. There was no guarantee it was going to be a massive hit, but that was the intention of the show. Okay, continue.
Ones that filled this thing chock full of unlikable, annoying as fuck Gen Z humor and commentary. We're not the ones that filled it full of a bunch of fucking queers just to push it on everyone.
Yeah, there was one same-sex relationship confirmed and another possibly alluded to relationship, which we didn't really see really do much. That's it. To him, that's a bunch of queers, which, by the way, it's really based, like, make a whole Star Trek show full of gay people. Why not? Why not? These guys see gayness in everything. They see a man and a woman kissing, gay as fuck. They see a love story between an alien and a human, gay as fuck. Everything to them is gay. So just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Make a gay Star Trek. Which, by the way, I want to point out, a show that they love, or they say they love, The Orville, literally did have a full-on, pretty important relationship between two men. It was a big deal on that show. And yet, the show wasn't awful because of that. But according to Ryan, the queer relationships in this show were the problem. And then the goalpost gets moved. And then it changes. Well, how good was the queer relationship? Oh, but you just said it was the queer relationship. Was it well written? Was it not well written? See, that's how you know these guys are just playing games. They're not serious people. Because once you approach them and you say, well, you like the Orville, there was a gay relationship with that. Yeah, but that relationship was a well-written relationship. Okay, so then it's not the gay stuff that's the problem. Then that's not the issue. But you're never going to get that level of nuance from the bobblehead lineup that is Friday Night Tights.
YouTubers are not the ones that did this. Star Trek did this. Like Paramount and fucking Alex Kurtzman, they are the ones that did this. Right. We are not the reason that only 40,000 people in episode 2.
Unconfirmed bullshit. That is an unconfirmed number. I think it's a good time for me to step in here and say, I'm not telling you you have to like Starfleet Academy. I'm not telling you have to like any of the modern Star Trek or anything like that. I have to do this disclaimer every time I make a video about this show because people in the comments seem to think that I'm somehow defending the quality of the show. I am not. I had issues with the show too. I had problems with it. But I'm not screaming woke, DEIA, virtue signaling. I'm not doing any of those things. If you want to have a conversation about what issues I thought Starfleet Academy had, we can have that conversation. But it doesn't really matter because my issues with it are so nuanced compared to what these guys are doing. It's really not what you guys want to chat about. You don't want to have a conversation about that. You want me to say the same thing that these guys are saying. That's what you want. You want me to be outraged like these guys. I'm just not. The show was not that bad. I actually thought the show was above average, but it wasn't my favorite Star Trek show. But that's neither here nor there.
Tuned in. It's just because normal people think it's shit.
Normal. Again, othering of people. This is like white supremacy bullshit. Like othering people, trying to make it seem like they are abnormal, and I reject that term. I've said this before. Typical and atypical is a non-othering term. It's a non-othering way of explaining that. But they say normal because they're trying to get an emotional reaction from the people that are watching their content, and they want to build up that wall so that you will not engage with people who have a different opinion than you. If they make it seem like they are abnormal because they like this, then this is Ryan trying to have you put up a wall to not have conversations with other people because you would see them as abnormal or that there's something wrong with them. It's a disgusting way to run any sort of community.
Normal people thought the promotional material was shit, so they didn't even give it a chance to begin with. And then the people who did, by and large, didn't like it. We see this.
And none of that is like, there's no proof or evidence of that. That's just him saying that. You guys have to understand, when I watch these videos and they say something that I know 100% there's no evidence for it because I've looked all this stuff up, I just think of them as being annoying little fleas. Fucking mosquitoes buzzing around. None of this is substantial. None of it is fact-based. It is all outrage propaganda content. That's all this is.
Everything that gets canceled, these stupid cum-guzzling pronoun in bio fucking
Oh, I love the homophobia. Come on, keep it coming, Ryan. Keep the homophobia coming. I love it.
Losers who try to blame the YouTubers they hate.
Y'all took it, like, you took responsibility for this. Until the heat turns on, you're in the kitchen, and you're like, now I'm cooking. And the heat starts up, and then you're like, oh, no, it's not us. It couldn't be us. It can't be us. We don't have that much power. It's y'all. You're the problem. You're the ones who got your own show canceled because that makes all the sense in the world. That makes so much sense. Again, big brained.
That are getting more viewers than this fucking show. Instead of just acknowledging
bullshit.
that maybe you're in the minority. Maybe you're not in touch with reality.
It doesn't matter if people are in the minority or not. Thank you for acknowledging that you do like to push back against marginalized communities. I really appreciate that you're admitting here that you guys have the majority, and that majority loves to continue to oppress people in the minority. I love that you admitted that. It makes my job much, much easier when you just say the quiet part out loud. However, that doesn't mean that people who are not in the majority do not get access to entertainment. That's a dumb argument. It doesn't make sense. It's just stupid.
Which is why you haven't figured out what your fucking gender is yet.
Right. So transphobia too. So see, Ryan, this is just piece of shit energy. That's all it is. It's just piece of shit energy. This guy says so much behind a microphone, but bro gets out in public and it's like a squawking chicken. Like, it really is. It's so soft. It's so fragile. Like, he's exuding what he would consider to be bitch energy when he does stuff like this. It's just bitch energy. That's all it is.
You can see the priorities for the show as well, because another piece of content that's coming out is about the gay Klingon, and it's actually being written by the actor. Because it's like, oh, it's all about your lived experience. So you could he's basically going to put his life into a Klingon and pretend that nothing changes about that scenario in the slightest.
And that's being printed by IDW.
Oh,
And they're doing so well.
And IDW's biggest brag a couple of months ago is, we think we've got enough money to last another year.
yeah.
That was their biggest fucking brag. And now they're putting out fucking gay Klingon.
I don't care if they're putting out something about a gay Klingon. Is it good? Is it good? Have you read it? Do you know if it's any good or not? No, because you live your life on ideological boundaries. That's how you live your life. It's on the rail. You're on the railing of whatever your ideology is, and you can't see beyond that. That's your entire existence. You claim that everybody else's personality is based on ideology, but that's really you guys. That's just projection. That's 100% projection. Because I can look at something that I might align with ideologically and go, I just don't like it. It's not something I like, regardless of whether or not it has all the things that you think would be checkboxes for me. I can say I don't like it. But it's not even worth it for me to go that far because you guys would never do that. Because it's all team politics with all of you. That's why this quartering thing is so fucking weird. Because he kind of lashed out at Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, which already that started the spiral with the quartering and you guys. And now it's coming down to him flagging you guys and going after your channels and stuff like that. So we see that like the chud on chud violence is a real thing. Once you guys no longer align ideologically for any reason, it becomes cannibalism within the community. That's your community in a nutshell. We see it every time. There's no walking away from anyone quietly. There's no breaking up with your boyfriend, girlfriend in this community where there's not some big divorce proceeding. Like it's always some crazy fallout in these guys. And that's because they're the only thing that any of these guys have in common is ideology. The minute one of them decides they don't want to be a part of that system, they are no longer invited to the party. Because that's the way they run their community. 100%. So when you say there might be a gay Klingon comic book, that doesn't sound exciting to me. You know, I don't know. I might pick it up. Maybe I won't. I have no idea. But I can't judge it yet because I haven't read it. But you guys are ready to dismiss it because ideologically, it doesn't align with what your community supports. So you have to not support it. And you're sitting on the panel with the Saska sisters, who supposedly are gay and trans allies, supposedly. And they're listening to you and Ryan Cannell be homophobic and transphobic and not saying anything and just smiling and nodding their heads. That's kind of crazy.
1,000 years in the future is fighting for gay fucking rights.
Do you know that that's what the comic book is about? Is it about fighting for gay rights? I don't know. I have no clue. I don't think there was any fighting for gay rights in the show because you guys said that it was full of queers. So why would they be fighting for gay rights in a show where everyone seems to be accepting of any sort of like relationship of any kind? Whether it be between two men, two women, different species. Why would it matter? Honestly.
This isn't infinite diversity and infinite combinations. This is infinite victimhood in infinite combinations.
Who's the victim? You guys just made a video where you're crying about being blamed for getting the show canceled. That's the victim narrative here. That's the title of your fucking video. It's a panel full of victims. Am I losing my mind? You guys are the ones claiming to be victims. This is crazy.
Exactly what this fucking nonsense fucking is. And next season, apparently, more gay.
It's going to be gay.
I hope so, because we only get one more season. So literally, I want to see just gay as shit stuff going on. Really cause these guys to have a complete and utter heterosexual meltdown. I would love to see that. I would love to see them have an absolute meltdown because there's no reason for them to complain about it, really, because the show is already canceled. So they could technically ignore it because it doesn't matter. In essence, it really doesn't. Whether the show does well or doesn't do well, it doesn't matter. But they're not going to do that. They're going to watch every episode of next season and talk shit about it no matter what, because that's part of what they do here on YouTube. It's about oppression and bigotry and all that shit. So I suspect they're going to do that and they're going to watch season 2. Even though they don't have to, they're going to watch it.
Who edits those Star Trek comics?
That'll be
IDW?
professional cum dumpster Heather Antos. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Who left Marvel at 12 o'clock in the afternoon crying, holding a box of all her stuff.
Oh.
But Karim has barely any acting experience, let alone writing experience. He has purely been chosen because of what he's attracted.
Okay, I need to pause for a second. I watched this video initially because it had Robert Picardo's name in it. Robert Picardo's Star Trek show also scrapped. All we're doing is being homophobic and transphobic. That's what they've been doing for the last couple minutes. And that's it. Is there any point in this video where they start talking about Robert Picardo's show? Maybe around the 6-minute mark? Let's see.
Average for people who watched an episode, 40,000.
Wow.
Yeah. 40,000.
You like that connection, Gary, in that video?
Yeah. Same amount as the people who watched individual episodes, based on averages, of course.
So are we going to get to the Robert Picardo stuff? I don't care about a petition to bring the show back. Like, I don't care about this.
We're rooting for you guys. The great thing about this is Kurtzman's firing is imminent.
Wasn't firing. Like, I don't know how you guys, like, do you not understand how the business industry works? You have a contract. That contract is for 4 years. If they don't renew the contract, that's just the end of your contract. There's no firing. Firing would be if you get let go before the end of your contract and they have to pay out damages for that. That's what firing would be. Ending your contract and not being renewed is not getting fired.
I think it's imminent and inevitable, and I can't wait. And then,
which, by the way, word on the street is that the contract is not, he's not losing a contract with Paramount. They're just changing it to other stuff. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. He's going to get shifted over to like a different type of content, most likely, or other projects. That's my assumption. We'll have to see.
Star Trek is dead, but it's been dead. It's been dead. And
so it's Star Trek is dead now, but it's been dead. Well, then what have you guys been screaming about since 2017? You know what I mean? That's the crazy part. If Star Trek has been dead since 2017, then why are you just now saying it's dead? Is it because you just lied to the people that watch your videos? You're just a bunch of liars? I just, honestly, it's very fascinating to me that people spend their time unironically watching this content.
I don't even know where the hell they go from here, but yeah, Starfleet Academy's done. Hopefully. They're dismantling the sets. Our work here is done.
Still, so see, it's just a convenience. Claim responsibility when it's convenient.
Our work here is
the pain was worth it.
I love the Saskas being present and clapping and cheering for somebody's jobs being taken away, art being taken down, all of that. They're supposed to be associated with the Ripiverse, and the Ripiverse is supposed to be they're not supposed to be involved in this culture war stuff. But here's the Saskas, the actual lore masters of the Ripiverse, over here buddying it up with a bunch of people cheering on the demise of people's jobs. It's really fucking strange. And hanging out with a bunch of homophobes and transphobes.
I mean, we still have that second season, but aside from that, my soul is at rest. That something I love is not going to be desecrated anymore. Just let it rest now. I don't need the pain.
So that means you're not going to cry about this now that it's over, Shad. You guys aren't going to talk about it anymore. You're going to just ignore all of the shows that came out between 2017 and 2026. Just ignore it all and pretend it didn't exist. Or is it going to be something you continue to bring up over and over and over again? I'm going to think possibly the latter, because that's the way you guys pay your bills on YouTube.
So if they had 400,000 total cumulative, Drinker on his 4 videos is
this like masturbation material for you guys? Oh my God, how many more views did I get than Star Trek? Oh my God, like what are we doing here? I can't anymore. I can't. I will not subject you guys to any more of this. This is like the loser club. And I don't mean that in the sense that, they don't have huge followings on social media or anything like that. It's miserable people. It's just a bunch of miserable people. I can't imagine anybody wanting to hang out with any of the people on this panel and expect to have a good time. It's just going to be like being upset about anything and everything. It's Miseryville with these folks. I can't imagine that. It's insanity to me. Homophobic, transphobic, sexist, anti-worker, anti-art, media illiterate people. That's what we have here. And it's crazy to me, again, that anybody would waste their time and their energy being a part of this community. I just don't see it.